Hello. I am sending my PlayStation 4 unit in for repairs. Technically, it's the first time I'm sending in this unit because I originally bought my PlayStation 4 from Amazon. Pretty sure all of you know. And the first console that I received from them was actually fast shipping. It was actually a day early. But it did not start, and it was dead on arrival. It had the blue lights of death, or whatever you want to call that. I don't know what other people are calling it, blot or whatever. But it had that, and it would not start. So, furious, obviously, I called Amazon. I actually originally called Sony, who told me to call Amazon instead. I guess because they were the retailer. And Amazon pretty much, I think, knew that this shit was happening, and actually, on the spot, sent me out a new system, and I was to send in that broken system within, like, a month from that period, and, yeah. Now, when I originally received this system, which, you know, was the replacement from Amazon, it seemed to be, like running well, especially compared to a dead-on-arrival system that wouldn't even start. But, you know, like, I noticed some things that, you know, a lot of times you just know things that it just doesn't seem right. You know, you have this little feeling, this little instinct. And at first, I didn't have games for like the first day, you know, because I just got it, and I didn't want to spend $460. You know, I'm pretty sure some of you understand. But I started by downloading the FIFA 14 and the NBA Live 14 demos from the PSN store, whatever they want to call it. And upon completing those downloads, I launched them both, and I think I tried FIFA first, which crashed on me, like, mid-game. The first time it was during, like, the load-up, when the EA little things, like EA Sports or whatever, came up, and the second time it crashed in the middle of a game, and then it took me right to the menu with these two errors, either CE348780 or CE363293, which are pretty much both the same, and I think they're tied together. They're saying it's pretty much an error in the system software, which I don't think it is, or an error within the application. And pretty much this happens with certain games so far. I mean, I actually have Battlefield 4. I own that. Watch Dogs. I borrowed NAC and Killzone Shadowfall, is it? From a friend. These games, Battlefield, Killzone, NAC, all seem to work well, but, like I said, the NBA Live and FIFA, actually, I don't think I said that, but NBA Live also crashes the same way FIFA does, like mid-randomly, and gives me the same errors. Now, I pretty much thought this issue was, you know, limited to that, but I also asked friends if they were experiencing the same kind of thing, and two of them didn't, so I thought that, well, why do my demos not work? That's kind of weird. But I didn't really think anything much of it, you know, just because they're demos, and I thought, you know, they kind of, like, dropped the ball on that one, and didn't really register to me at that point in time. But a few days ago, I got Watch Dogs, and I started playing it, got about, like, to the first mission, you know, past that little tutorial thing that they always do in the beginning of games, and my game froze. I was like, what? What's going on? And not immediately, actually, it was about 10-20 seconds, somewhere between there, my system was like, I heard the sound, the blue screen come up, and it said that I crashed. Then I tried again, and it crashed to the menu. It didn't even give me an error report. Then sometimes it gives you the error report, sometimes it don't, sometimes it's this one, sometimes it's that one, and I pretty much have gotten tired of this thing, and I'm tired of dealing with it. Now, knowing that I had this issue, I wanted to solve it. I wanted to know that not only if I could solve it, like, I'd be able to avoid, you know, doing what I'm doing right now. Now, according to the forums, I checked the forums, I checked Sony's website, I checked a ton, people. I'm tired of checking. I mean, I pretty much did 2 days of constant web searching, and I found nothing that could help me. Now, a lot of the recommendations for this issue seem to be things like deleting the game, reinstalling it, reinitializing the software. I did that, number one, through the system, via USB on the website. Did not work. I downloaded the gig file too, the one that told me it's a gig, so don't tell me that it's not right. Beyond that, everything, restoring the database, whatever, all that, none of that worked. None of it did. So, I'm pretty sure the issue is much deeper than that, because if it were a software issue, which that's pretty much claiming to be, or a firmware issue, either one, more people would experience the same issues I am, and so they would know exactly what's going on, or two, all the processes that I did, the software and all that jargon and all. I mean, I know computers, so don't tell me one little step that I missed just because I didn't say it. I did it all. None of that worked. And if it were a software issue, that would have prevailed. But it didn't. So I'm pretty sure, I'm not entirely confident just because I don't know this system, just like a lot of the people on the forums that seem to be saying, oh, it's a software issue. What the fuck do you know, dude? I'm pretty sure you don't know more than the Sony people know, and the Sony people don't really seem to know anything. So, I know that this is happening, but I'm pretty sure that it's happening because of a hardware issue. Something is going on within the system that is not letting me do this. And to say that, if it were a software issue, that would be resolved by a patch. But even if it is, I shouldn't have to wait for a patch to play my games. That's ridiculous. When other people are playing perfectly fine and all. I can understand if we were talking about PC, but this is PlayStation, and it's the first generation. How much difference can there be between my system and his? And I'm saying his just to say as an example. But how much difference could be between mine and yours that yours functions and mine doesn't? Granted, there could be little bit different pieces in here, but the software isn't very different, and the software should be, the same. And to say that that is causing the error is, I think, infantile at best. That just doesn't register. It doesn't make sense. I don't see the logic behind it. It has to be some type of hardware issue. And even if it was a software issue, just take my fucking system when it gets there and send me another one, please. I don't see why you gotta fucking fix this one, because there have been reports on forums and all that people have been sending their systems in. I don't know if it's the same exact error I'm issuing. Now, what I think the problem is the fact that these two errors pretty much mean nothing more than I have crashed. The application has crashed. And obviously, the application has crashed if you were in the middle of playing it and it goes to the main menu. That's obvious. But it doesn't say why it did that. So people are saying, I got this error, and they're pretty much saying, they're trying to say that we have the same problem. But no. Who knows why these applications are crashing? They could very well be crashing because something is going wrong within the hardware of the system. That's not uncommon. But I do not want them to send me back, number one, the same console, and even worse, with the same error, because I will flip, because in that case, there was no point in even sending the goddamn thing in. I could have done that. If you weren't going to fix it, I could have just left it here, and it wouldn't have done anything either. So, I'm including a letter detailing that I want pretty much not fucking new replacement, but at least a refurbished console, and not this one, because this one is fucking broken. I can tell you that much, and it needs fixing, and it's not just a hard drive, and even if it was, I should not be expected to go buy a hard drive just so it works. Beyond that, I don't know. If this issue wasn't that serious, I wouldn't consider sending it in, so before you say, oh, don't send it in because you'll get a refurbish or whatever, what am I supposed to do? Just not have a system, not be able to play one of my games? That's bullshit. I don't know what you want at that point. I'd rather have a shitty fucking refurbished, scratched up console that works than this nice looking new one that doesn't work. Plain and simple. That's it. I hope this thing gets fixed. I will keep you contacted, updated, whatever. Yeah. If you think it's a software issue, I would like to see your logic behind that and prove to me how you know, number one, that it is a software issue. And just because you think it is doesn't mean it is. I'm just saying that even if it isn't, I'm not saying that I know it is. I'm just saying that it's probably a hardware issue because this thing was built to function and it is not. And when you can make a software patch that makes a system function, then great, good for you. But I'm not waiting on it.